We talked, he said, Homer, calm down. They got $18 billion. They know how to hire other people. They'll figure out how to hire coaches and athletes. Haven't called him since, but it seems like things have changed, and now we'll find out. Jay Billis, good afternoon.
Homer, how you doing?
I am living the dream. I mean, heck. So 1 hour show's tough, though. It wears you out. All right, back to our discussion when you said, Homer, calm down. Am I right? $16 billion college sports creates each year. Was that right?
Might be more than that. I don't even know what it is. I mean, when you add up all the conferences and all that, it's probably more than that.
And you said, Homer, they hire professors, they hire mechanics, they hire people. They'll learn how to hire coaches and players. Is my memory right in terms of what you told me?
Basically, I mean, this is going to be figured out, but the NCAA does not yet want to allow the schools to pay the players directly. That's going to change probably next year once the House settlement goes through, and it could go through as early as the end of the month.
Explain what the House settlement is for people who just aren't following it that closely.
It's a federal antitrust case that the players, essentially athletes, brought against the NCAA. And that it was probably going to, if the players won the case, which was a likelihood, the NCAA was probably going to be on the hook to pay the players around $4 or $5 billion in damages. So the case right now is settling. $2.8 billion is going to be paid in past damages for violating federal antitrust law for all these years to the class of players. And then there's going to be a revenue sharing agreement going forward that's going to make money available for college athletes at each school, upwards of 20% of a calculation of revenue among the Power 5 institutions. So it would likely be in the first year or so upwards of over $20 million available for athletes.
And that court case is yet to be, the judge is still deciding if she's going to agree to what the offer was, or am I wrong? Am I right? Is that it where we are now?
Yeah, the case is settled, so the parties have agreed to the settlement, the terms of which the judge has to approve. And the approval, they've already had hearings on it, but it hasn't been.
Why would the judge not approve, though? I would have a question. Wherever this money, past damages to past players, well, they're probably going to be past players too far in the past that they're not going to get anything. And if that's the case, and I was them, I'd sue.
Well, that's the way lawsuits work, though. You can't take care of everybody that far back. So there's a class you could opt into, but you know they're not going to go back, and players in the '60s are somehow going to get paid, or I'm going to get paid.
You understand that better than I do. So your point is they settle here, and somebody else can say I was earlier and get nothing. You would say that wouldn't win. So.
Well, they have the opportunity to opt into the class, and if they don't do that, you're basically going to be out of luck. So
could Tony Smith opt to the class, even though he played in '89? My partner.
It's probably too late to get in now, considering the case is already settled. But
he could have at some point.
I doubt it would go back that far.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that would be a statute of limitations issue with regard to the claim.
So sorry I went there because it doesn't matter. So now we're at it. Everybody's waiting for the judge to agree or say that there's some parts of it she doesn't approve, and then they'd have to go back again. Do I have that right?
There may be, yeah. There was a period where people could object to the settlement. And so the judge could tell the parties, hey, I'm uncomfortable with this particular part of the settlement, so go back and work this out to my satisfaction. There are a lot of things that could happen, but my sense is in pretty short order, the settlement is going to be approved, and there's going to be a framework going forward, at least for the next 5 to 10 years for college sports. Without there being a collective bargaining process or any sort of federal
And that
law.
will mean that players will get paid by the schools, and the NCAA will allow it, because I believe right to now, the NCAA rule still says you can't pay players.
The school can't,
Yes.
yeah.
Even though really everybody knows the schools are, through NIL, just boosters of the school. right?
Well, yeah, collectives and
Yeah.
third-party NIL.
Yes.
There's still going to be third-party NIL. That will
Correct.
still exist in
But
the future.
that will exist as legitimate. Now it's just phony NIL because nobody's getting these ads. After the schools agree, I would assume there will be someone in charge to say NIL has to be real. There has to be real advertising or some level of marketing before you can use that money, correct?
Yeah, anything over $600 will have to be demonstrated that it's, and I think 600 is the number, which is pretty random, but it'll have to be demonstrated that it's a fair market
Because right
value
now,
deal.
as they call it NIL, the reality is certain players are making millions and doing absolutely nothing to earn that NIL in terms of name, image, or likeness, correct?
Well, they are doing something. The question is whether you think it's enough or it's fair market value. Look, I get what people are saying, that it's pay for play.
Right. I mean, they're doing nothing other than playing, or maybe they go visit a grocery store. The money they're getting from an advertising standpoint, other than maybe Caitlin Clark and a couple of us, they're basically getting almost all of it for playing, right? Which was not what NIL
some are.
is intended.
Some are. That's a pretty generalized statement.
Yeah, that's why you're on, to clear me up. Okay, so
but there are a lot of players that are worth a lot in the marketplace. But the point, I think that the grand point is these players are worth a lot of money, and people want to pay it, and that's why we're hearing numbers like this. I mean, 3 years ago, the NCAA was telling us players aren't worth anything. Only a couple of them are. And that's proven to be absolutely false because of the numbers that are being paid to players. These schools know what they need to win. They need players in order to win. And you don't just need one great player or a great quarterback. You need a line to protect the quarterback and receivers and defensive players and all that if you're going to win. Same thing in basketball. You need more than one player.
So you're also, again, optimistic that this is going to be resolved and we're going to move on to the next level or the next approach?
Yeah, I mean, all of it will be resolved in the future because, in my experience, multi-billion-dollar entertainment industries just don't fold up because of a couple of speed bumps and paying their employees. They'll figure all this out. And, while coaches and administrators, some of them have complained over the last few years that it's a wild, wild west and the world's going to hell in a handbasket, ratings have shot through the roof, and games are still being played on time, and nobody's quit. Nobody stopped playing. It's these schools are running a gigantic entertainment industry that's making them billions of dollars. They're not going to stop doing it just because a judge says they have to pay their players.
Is it fair for you to say these are not student athletes; they're professionals? Is that
they've been professionals, Homer, for 50 years.
Okay.
The enterprise is professional, and you could make the argument just by paying, giving them a scholarship years ago, you made it professional. First of all, amateurism is a made-up, phony concept. It goes back to Old England and ancient Greece, and really, I mean, if you just look at Wimbledon back in the day, the back when there were nothing but handlebarred, mustachioed white men playing at Wimbledon, the reason they were amateur back then was because the moneyed elites could keep the common man out of competition. And that's what amateurism is really all about, so that only the moneyed elites could afford to play. And they kept the unwashed masses out of it. And so when the NCAA kind of first started in 1905 or whatever it was, amateurism, it was the Ivy League schools that were leading the way that wanted gentlemen to play against gentlemen. And so they didn't allow even scholarships back then. And then later on, they realized, well, wait a minute, this is not fair, it's not right, and other schools wanted to compete, so they started giving scholarships. And then it became scholarships and a stipend.
So in reality, they've been pros for a long time. If somebody says, well, they're pros, not student athletes, the answer is they've been doing that for a long time. They're just maybe getting a greater share of the revenue.
Well, let me put it this way. But before we go to greater share of the revenue, in my experience, amateur endeavors don't have multi-billion-dollar media rights contracts.
Yes.
So the NCAA has wanted to paint this like it's the Little League World Series, where the teams are coached by somebody's dad who's an insurance salesman in his off time. That's not what's happening. And they'll say, well, it's going to be minor league sports. hate to break this to you, minor league sports don't have multi-billion-dollar television contracts.
Because there's no love for those teams as there is for the universities, right?
It doesn't matter what the reason.
Oh, okay.
They're selling the players for billions of dollars. It's professional.
Right.
And by banding together and saying the players can't receive anything more than a scholarship, what the NCAA and all the member institutions did was violate federal antitrust law. That's why they got sued and lost. And that's why they're having to pay billions of dollars in damages right now and settle the House case, is because they know they're going to lose. They've lost all the recent antitrust cases. What the NCAA has been doing with regard to players is illegal, and it has been illegal since day one, and it finally caught up to them. The NCAA is not doing this out of the goodness of their heart.
This is what I want to do. I wanted you to be in charge of the changes, and apparently not enough people have agreed with me. But now I'm putting you in charge. What are you going to do as of today, assuming there is an agreement close to what they have in this particular court case? I want you in charge. What you get everybody together, whoever you want to get to, the school presidents. Jay Billis, it's all yours.
What I do is what I think I've told you before is I remove all the restrictions on schools paying athletes. Right now, a school can employ whatever students they like on their campus, and there are in fact thousands upon thousands of student employees at schools all around the country. To me, all you have to do is say, hey, you're in Wisconsin, so University of Wisconsin, Marquette, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, pay whoever you want, whatever you want, and do it however you want. We're not telling schools what they can give to any other student and what they can provide to any employee. We're only telling them what they can do with an athlete. I think that's profoundly wrong. It's illegal, the way they've been doing it. And what I would say is pay whoever you want.
How do you decide conferences and things like that?
Well, if a conference wants to band all their schools together and say, here's how we're going to handle it, that's fine. They can do that. And I think it would pass antitrust muster. But they're going to run into the same issues that happen school to school, is that all these schools and all these conferences are market competitors against each other. And just as they are for coaches, nobody's saying that, hey, wait a minute, Alabama can afford to pay their coach $10 million, but Wisconsin, Milwaukee can't afford to pay their coach that much. That's not fair. Everybody needs to be paid the same thing. They don't say that. They say, this is competition, do it your way. If you can't afford to pay.
So you would change the agreement that's existing in this court case? You don't even
think... No, the court case would go away if they would say that. They wouldn't even need to do anything.
All right.
If the NCAA said, there's no antitrust case with regard to coaches. Coaches aren't suing trying to get more money. They don't need to. They can get as much as they want and as much as anybody's willing to pay.
And you have no, and I ask this not for me, but just because of BS, but Jay, then don't you need a salary cap? The professional leagues have discovered the importance of that.
You have to bargain for that. So if they want a salary cap, they have to bargain with the players for it. And if they do that, the players agree to it, then they can have their salary cap. But what they don't acknowledge is that in the NBA and the NFL, because with a salary cap, the players get 50% of the revenue. They don't get 50% of the revenue now. So that's why they don't want a salary cap. They say they want one, but they don't, because the players will get half all of the money. And right now, the players are going to be cheap. $20 million for players is going to be cheap relative to their value. And that's why the NCAA doesn't want to do it. They know it would cost them more money. And a lot of the administrators know, hey, some of our jobs go away because the players are more valuable than we are. They know that.
And the players would then be representatives of the university. Can there be a requirement that they go to school? I've said.
Of course.
Really?
Of course there can.
How?
There is now. I mean, one of the things that's going to happen with this settlement, when you can finally pay the players directly, is schools are going to sign players to contracts. And when they sign them to contracts, they can be multi-year deals, depending on how the school wants to do it. You can put whatever you want in those contracts. You put a buyout in there.
All right.
And
you're in charge of the contracts.
Well, every school is in charge of their own contract.
Right, but if one school says school's important, the other one's going to go, not as important to us.
But they do that now, Homer.
Okay, I know.
Do you think every school is Harvard?
No, yes. Schools, their nature as a school often determines their nature of how they treat their students. Yes.
But nobody is going. You can put in a contract that class attendance is mandatory. Otherwise, the contract's terminated. If you get arrested, it's terminated. You have a buyout in there of $1 million or whatever. You put whatever you want in there. It's really not that big of a deal. It happens every day in business. I'm sure you have a contract.
I know. Actually, I don't, but generally I have always had one. So what do you want to tell people? What's going to happen? It sounds like you want to say, calm down. They'll figure this out. And it's going to be.
There's nothing not to be calm about. Like nobody's up in arms about coaches' contracts and coaches' salaries. And does the coach get a parking space?
Well, I think people are up in arms about the quarterback at Tennessee who just said, I don't want to do it. I mean, I don't know what the specifics of that.
All right, the quarterback at Tennessee. So that was technically a holdout from my understanding.
Okay.
So as far as I understand it, that's the only holdout among all the athletes that play Division I sports. The only one. And holdouts happen in sports, but they're pretty rare. It happens sometimes at the NFL, the NBA level. You might have a holdout where a player signs a contract and thinks he's worth more than he's being paid. So the player holds out. The team, or in this case, the University of Tennessee, has a number of options. You can suspend the player, you can kick the player off the team, you can kick the player out of school. You can do whatever you want. Or you can say, hey, let's talk about this. So we agree you're worth a little bit more, but you're not worth as much as you think you are. So we'll make you a better offer, but that's going to be the end.
I'm guessing that you would like it if there was a stipulation of attending class. Or maybe I'm wrong.
I don't care. Everybody can do whatever they want. I would have signed something that said I had to go to class every day, even though I didn't go to class every day. I had certain classes where I felt like I had it knocked, and there were certain classes I said, you know what, it's nice outside. I don't think I'm going. I was like every other student. Not every student at great schools go to class every day. And right now, there are a number of classes that are online. Each school knows how they want to handle their students. Right. And they can handle it on their own. They don't need a blanket rule of them to handle how they're going to deal with their athletes or all that. They can. Maybe we should have a mandatory curfew for all athletes that they all have to be in bed by 10 o'clock at night.
Jay, don't mock us. Don't mock us.
No, I am.
I know,
because this kind of thing gets ridiculous after a while.
Well, no, they're saying Wild West. You're saying no. I want the Wild West, and none of the rest of you do. That's really where
Homer,
we're at, right? No,
Homer, the Wild West is where the rest of us live. We live in the Wild West. They live in the athletes live where they get to be told what to do, what they can accept, and what they can't.
Even though they're the product.
They're the money drivers,
yes.
Or at least the main money drivers. So the Wild West that we're referring to is the Wild West that the rest of us live in.
Which is why we should all be rooting for that.
You can root or not root however you want.
Well,
but I mean that. If people like this or don't like it, that's fine. It's like people who say, well, I'm not watching this anymore. Well, that's fine. Right. Don't watch it. But the people who say that, they say I'm not well, clearly they watched it because ratings were up to the highest level of the tournament since 1993.
No one knows what players are making. It may make no difference. Right?
Why should they know?
Well, once they become employees of the university, then doesn't everybody?
Well, they're not going to be employees in a rev share. That they may be. This settlement doesn't make them employees.
So there's a desire to keep it private.
Well, I don't know whether they want to keep it private. They can make it public if they want to. Mm-hmm. I don't care what players.
Don't you think you risk some fans saying these are just professionals? Though you've tried to help them out by telling them reality.
But they are professionals.
I know, but that doesn't mean everybody watching. For example, they don't think they're professionals because the students still say overrated, and at some point they're going to start saying overpaid.
That's fine too.
I know it's fine.
What you want.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't understand the problem here. What fans think, let them think what they want. They can yell at the players.
Well, the concern is if you have fewer fans, then you have less money, and then everything changes.
But Homer, that's my point.
Okay.
The fans don't care.
To this point,
we were told years ago for decades by the NCAA, as soon as the players are paid anything, this whole enterprise is going to go down the toilet because fans want to watch amateurs play. They want to watch student athletes play. That's not true. And clearly it wasn't true because now they're being paid and people are watching in greater numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody cares. They said the same thing about the Olympics years ago when amateurism was taken out of the Olympic charter in the 1970s, and the Olympics is more popular than ever. They said the same thing about baseball when the reserve clause was taken out.
And you're saying don't go by what people say, go by what they do.
Because what people say, it's nonsensical. And I'm not saying, look, you can like it or not like it. That's fine. But the idea that somehow the public is going to turn their attention away from Ohio State, Michigan, or Duke, North Carolina, or they're not going to watch the Final Four because the players are getting paid I thought it was ridiculous for the last 30 or 40 years. It's now demonstrably false and shown that way over the last several years.
You cannot listen and watch much sports because it would drive you crazy. All the discussion about NIL and college sports.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't drive me crazy any more than listening to somebody who doesn't understand Rory McIlroy's golf swing try to break it down. I mean, I don't. People talk about things they don't really understand a lot.
Do you have any interest in doing a show on every radio or TV sports show to try to help people, as you've helped people again that listen to this show?
I mean, I'm happy to talk about it when people want to, but the truth is people don't really care.
Just solve it and go and solve it, and then as long as I have my football, as long as we have football next season.
Yeah, that's really what people care about. And I know that the easy thing for talk radio and some other outlets and the internet is to freak out over this Tennessee quarterback thing, but it's one player.
Yes.
And when this thing happens in the NFL, it's a topic of conversation. They figure it out, and then they move on to the game.
What do you think would be the best way to do it? Would there be conferences? Would there be just 20 schools, or what? I don't know how to ask what you would like or how you think it's going to play out.
Well, I think everybody's going to continue to compete at the same level they do now.
Okay.
It may mean that they have to make some choices. So what I see happening in the future is I think schools are going to get more efficient in the way, when the money exploded through television contracts, they started spending like crazy. And so revenues at a particular school went up.
Buildings, employees.
Whatever it is.
Yes.
But they went over $100 million a year, and then expenses magically rose to the level of revenues. And because they could. So they pay a bunch of money to the schools for scholarships and rent and all these different things. They hire way more people as administrators and to work for the teams. And, now you look at, pick any team in your state, Homer, Wisconsin. There are more people in the basketball annual team picture. There are more people wearing suits.
Shaka has 9 assistants. There are 10 people. Bill Russell becomes player coach of the Celtics and hires no one. I don't know how many.
Right.
How many were at Duke when you were an assistant?
There were three assistants and a head coach.
Yeah.
And we had one trainer for the entire athletic department.
Yes. All right.
And now they have 2 trainers.
They got 100. And there'll be even more, right? And thus
a strength coach and this and that.
So that might go down.
That'll probably get more efficient. Football and basketball, the ones that are really bringing the money in will have the resources that they've always had. Some of the other sports will probably be leaned up.
And it won't be any less competitive than it is now.
No. It'll be the same. But I think you'll see athletic departments lean up. Like right now, you take out the staff directory at any university. It's gigantic. It's bigger than the Pentagon. Yeah. And they have 27 athletic directors and all that stuff. You don't need it. You don't go to an NFL team and see 27 GMs.
And it'll change because, as you say, they have to. All right. Any last word you want to leave? To me, you're the same. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, right? It's that simple, right? It's going to be fine.
what I would say, what I would ask, I would probably ask a question is, name me the last multi-billion-dollar industry that went out of business because they had to share revenue to the players, to the employees' value. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Right, and it's really, I think the having a cap is really important to realize what a cap means, given what it is in the pros. All right, quick question about Cooper Flagg. My NBA guy said, just like Larry Bird in terms of personality, aggressiveness, competitiveness, may not be as good a player in some of the skills, but he's special, and Larry Bird is not a stupid comment.
Yeah, it's just going back a ways. I think Cooper is incredibly competitive, and especially when you consider he's 18 years old. So he's a different cat that way. So I don't have any doubt he's going to be ultra successful. Larry Bird is, in my judgment, one of the 10 best players to ever walk the planet. Now, will he get into that category? I don't know. But he'll be a perennial all-star as long as he stays healthy. He's really, really good, and I don't think there's any question that whatever team gets of the 30 NBA teams, there's not one of them that wouldn't take him first.
And you predicted 4 number 1 teams in the NCAA, which of course I know you say whatever doesn't mean it's better or worse. Does the current system mean that's more likely, or is it just 1 year?
I think it's just 1 year. One data point doesn't make a trend. And I'll give you an example. 2 years ago, Florida Atlantic and San Diego State were in the Final Four. And the narrative then was the earth is flat. Now the major colleges, because of NIL and the transfer portal, aren't going to be able to dominate like they have in the past. Get used to it. Now everybody can win. And then 2 years later is, oh, my God, Cinderella is dead. And the mid-majors can't compete anymore, and it's over. And it's just 1 year. We had 4 teams this year that were extraordinarily talented and efficient. In fact, they were four of the 10 most efficient teams that have played basketball in the last 30 years. And they just happened to be this year.
And lastly, how did the SEC get so good? Or maybe it's because they have 100 schools. I'm curious to your answer.
Well, they about 7-8 years ago, they hired Mike Tranghese, who used to be with the commissioner of the Big East, and they invested in basketball. They hired
good coaches.
Coaching hires. Yeah, they hired good coaches. They did better with scheduling, and I think over this 8 years period, they've slowly become better and better and better. I think this was the apex. I can't imagine it being any better than it was this year for the SEC. But if I were another league around the country that hasn't been doing as well, I would look at how they handled it and try to emulate it because it's worked really well.
I speak for everyone. Thanks, and I hope way more people listen to this and understand what's going on, and I hope to hear you doing other shows and helping people out the same way.
Well, I don't know if I helped anybody, but it's always a pleasure. I'm amazed that you only work an hour a day now, Homer. It's really sad.
Oh, that's nice of you to say that.
You need to work more.
I'm 70. How old are you?
I am 61.
Wait till you get to be 70. Then I'll call you and see what you think.
I'll be dead by then.
No, you won't. Golf balls are coming. Thank you. Very nice.
All right, brother.
You bet.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Jay Billis, and I think we got Jason Wilde in a little bit, right? Do we have more things to give away today or not? Are we done with that? We do not. Your state, your teams, your ESPN, the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Download the app today for your chance at an all-inclusive private tailgating experience during day 3 of the draft in Green Bay. Open up the ESPN Wisconsin app. It used to be WisconsinOnDemand.com. Not anymore. ESPN Wisconsin app. Check out the contest tab and register for your chance to win. And tell everybody to go that didn't and listen to what Jay Billis said. Jason Wilde next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
We got some backups heading northbound through the Marquette. There's an accident right underneath Wisconsin Avenue causing some issues. It's going to be slow past that point all the way up to Keefe, though. The southbound side has some backups as well, coming in from Burleigh down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge heading down towards Lincoln. Westbound on 94, backups from about 13th Street all the way through to about Mitchell Boulevard. You're back on the brakes west of Sunny Slope Road past Moreland, past Calhoun, actually. On the eastbound side, slowing down from about Highway F through the Barker Road area, back on the brakes from 84th Street to Hawley Road. Escape to the Knickerbocker on the lake. Enjoy stunning lake views, luxurious rooms, and exceptional dining. Experience timeless charm and modern luxury in the heart of Milwaukee. Book your stay at knickerbockeronthelake.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Clearing skies, cool with a low of 32 at the lake, 26 inland. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 48 at the lake, 55 inland. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It doesn't matter if it's your first betting slip ever or just the first one of the week. We've got your Potawatomi sportsbook picks covered. Tune in Wednesdays to the Weekly Wager with Greg Matzik, Ben Brust, and Jen Latta.
If someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything, you take it.
The Weekly Wager, Wednesday nights at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount liquor.
Julie Granger is the president of Junior Achievement of Wisconsin. Julie, your organization has business technology from James Imaging Systems. Yet today, please tell us about Junior Achievement's unique mission.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has a mission of inspiring and preparing young people for success in a global economy. We serve students anywhere from kindergarten through 12th grade, and we just started serving young adults 18 to 25.
I understand financial literacy is also an important part of your mission.
Financial literacy is critical to the long-term success of every individual so that they can plan their futures and they can live their dreams.
To help turn those dreams into reality, how can everyone get involved?
We are looking for people who are willing to donate their time, treasure, and talent to the organization.
What's the first step?
The best way to reach us is through our website, wisconsin.ja.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
At Mentality, they leave no man behind. A friend of Mentality suffered a nightmare in January when his teenage daughter was paralyzed after a truck accident. Mentality will be hosting a fundraising event this Friday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at its office, 2323 North Mayfair Road in Tosa. There will be silent auctions, a 50-50 raffle, food trucks, and free men's health screenings. All money raised will go to purchase an Action Track chair for this family. Consider stopping by to help this Friday at Mentality from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Getting close to the NFL draft. Every day you should get information about the Packers from Jason Wilde. You go to ESPN Wisconsin, used to be WisconsinOnDemand.com. And do they still have it set up? Is there a Jason Wilde spot I can go to? And so that I can listen to everything. It'll take a long time. He's on many minutes each day. Good evening, Jason. Thanks for coming on a little bit later so Jay Pillows could talk. I'm not hearing Jason, so I don't know if that's me. I'm still not hearing.
Is it me?
Yep, nope, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm glad we have the new ESPN Wisconsin app because I was walking the dogs and getting some things done, so I didn't get to hear Jay Billis. But as you know, I'm a big Jay Billis fan. I love that you have that connection with him, so I'm eager to hear what he had to say that I missed, and that's the beauty of the new ESPN Wisconsin app.
Yes, and now we get close to that every day. I feel like I want to say, all right, what are you thinking today, Jason? You've gone through some of the positions. I don't want the Packers to take a wide receiver in the first round. They have a great history of being successful in the second round. Why would you change that now? How about that? Have you done that yet?
Wide receivers are next on the hit parade. But let's be honest here. Just because they've had success in the second round doesn't mean that you shouldn't take a wide receiver in the first round this time around. What does your buddy John Saganiak tell you at Saganiak Planning? Like, past performance is not an indicator of future success. So you could easily pick a guy in the third round. It could turn out to be Amari Rodgers, right? And if you like Tet McMillan or you like Emeka Ibuka, then go take him, right? Like, I think they've now had all three of the projected first-round wide receivers after Travis Hunter, which, I don't know, is Travis Hunter a corner? Is he a wide receiver? Is he a breath mint? I don't know what he is.
No, he's both. He's Babe
Other than
Ruth.
a good football player.
He's both. There's never been anyone like him.
He's Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
But I don't know, I don't know if I would just say, oh, well, they've always gotten good wide receivers without having to draft them in the first round, so now they'll just do it again.
Well, if I were Goody, I'd be like, I would be in no rush to do it in the first round. None. We've done in the second round, so what's the rush? If there's someone I really like, yes, but there's going to be there's nothing up there that makes me go in that direction at all.
I would say this.
Yes.
I would not trade up to go get one.
Okay.
I would not say, oh, I got to go get Emeka Ibuka, and I'm sitting at 23, and he's going to be gone by 18. I'm going to go up and get him. That I would not do. But if there is one of those guys there that you like, don't let history dictate whether or not you go. If he's available to you, he doesn't cost you anything other than the pick that you are using, then take him. And maybe all three of the guys that they've had in will be gone by then, right? Maybe. And if that turns out to be the case, then you go find a guy in the second round.
Now I got a great question for you. This is what equal value on the board. Equal value.
Great.
First round cornerback.
Pretty bold.
Yeah.
Pretty bold to tell me ahead of time it's a great question.
Yeah.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yes, you will. You can agree or disagree. That happens a lot on this show. But yes, equal value, cornerback and first round pick, cornerback, wide receiver, and I don't know what the third position would be. Is there a third position? I guess defensive line.
Edge rusher.
Edge rusher.
Edge rusher or defensive tackle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Equal value. Yes, I'm taking cornerback.
They all have the same grade.
Yes, I'm taking cornerback.
They all have the same grade.
Yes.
I'm taking corner.
I am. Yes.
Yeah. So am I.
Yes. Explain.
You were asking me.
I know, but
what you're doing.
I know you did, but I gave you another chance to disagree with me if you wish to.
I appreciate that, but yeah. I don't need to be given bonus chances to disagree with you. I do that plenty.
Duly noted. Excellent answer.
I agree. I agree with you though. In this
why?
case, I totally agree with you because all right, first of all, I am a Keyshawn Nixon guy. I like him.
What does that mean?
One of my favorite.
He's a starting.
I think he's a starting caliber corner.
All right.
He can play inside. He can play outside. He's got that. As LaFleur likes to call it, dog mentality.
And he's the best corner they got right now, right?
Right now, no doubt. Yeah. But, I think it's important to understand that, first of all, what he's done, right? He was a nobody in Vegas. Like, they did not give him opportunities to do anything with the Raiders. Then he got to Green Bay, and he was the same way. Then they gave him the chance to be a kickoff return guy, and he was all pro. Then they made him a slot guy, and he was one of the better slot corners in the league. Then they move him outside because Jeff Hafley thinks he can play outside even if Joe Barry did not. He goes out there. He played pretty damn good football for them. So I should be cautious in saying I don't think he's a number one corner because every time people have said something that they think he isn't, he's gone out and been it, right? To be fair,
well,
to him.
he's going to be the number one corner, right? I mean, we can just right.
Yeah, I mean, unless they draft a guy and he comes in and he's really good right away. Like, remember when they drafted Jair, like he came in and he was their number one corner right away.
All right.
As a rookie at 18, and he played really well. Like everybody forgets, and this is why I keep going back to this, but everybody forgets because of all the shenanigans and the injuries and everything else. He's still a good player. He really is, but he's got to be on the field in order to be a good player, and that just doesn't happen frequently enough.
Well, that you just emphasized even more why it should be a cornerback, because it's possible that you picking a cornerback could pick someone, if it's a good pick, who becomes the number one cornerback, even though you like Keyshawn Nixon.
Sure, and then you're that much stronger because you have a guy that you think is, maybe a 1A, 1B level number one corner, still better than just a simple 2. And he goes out there, and then you got 2. I mean, this defense, when you think back to, when this defense was at its best, it was when Al Harris and Charles Woodson were shutting down both sides of the field, right? I mean, 2007, one of the reasons why they went to the AFC Championship game was that they had 2 shutdown corners. Well, the problem is, in the championship game, Plaxico Burress was so good on those back shoulder throws against Al Harris that he wasn't a shutdown corner that day, and they lost. But the fact of the matter is that there are a few positions where you can use the phrase, you can never have enough blank, and there's no doubt that corner fits that blank. And so if you've acquired Nate Hobbs, well, I always want to call Roy Hobbs, but that's the natural. If you've got Keyshawn Nixon, who you think is a very good player, and then you draft a guy that turns out to be a really good player because you moved on from Jair Alexander, which I still expect them to do, as I have all along, well, then you got a good chance to be a pretty darn good football team and a pretty darn good defense.
Talking with Jason Wilde, I don't know that you're going to do this, but I would love you to do a comparison between Goody and Howie Roseman, because I think the difference between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers is the difference between the performance of those two. Part of that is because Roseman has been so good. He's proved that maybe the coach isn't that important because he's won 2 with 2 different coaches, right?
He has indeed. Yes, that's 100% true.
Also, the article by Bill Huber about the picks of Goody in the first round and stuff.
Yeah. Now it wasn't Bill's.
No, you're correct. It was from Best
study.
Buy or Best Bet or some other site. Correct. Yes, that needs.
Yeah, and I just hated what they used to grade with. Like it was Super Bowl winners, first team All Pros, second team All Pros, Pro Bowls. I mean, I don't think that's how you should measure.
That was going to be my question.
Oh my God, you're so far behind on the clock. We should probably just stop now because I don't know if we've ever agreed this much.
I don't know that we're going to agree on it because I was going to say I want you to look at that and change what categories there need to be. Parameters, yes, because it is phenomenal as how to assess how someone's doing. That needs to be done. Now, I've always said all I care about is the team that you build. But you can build it and still suck at the draft. And if you suck at the draft, that may be what's limiting you because you're doing well in other areas, such as fire all your scouts or change the way you do things. And based on that was, to me, the start of that. But I'm like you. I don't know that those are the right categories.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they're the right categories. I'm not. I'm unwilling to budge on that. I just think that's a bad way to measure.
Because I looked at like Kansas City's first because they drafted Mahomes. How many points did they get just because of him?
Exactly. Right, exactly. And so if it is Ted Thompson high up on the list because he drafted Rodgers and he's a 10-time Pro Bowler and everything else? Of course, right? If they were doing it during Ted's tenure.
Yep.
My issue is there are how many starts did the player make?
Yep.
Right? How many? If I'm measuring defensive players, where did he rank in terms of tackles? Where did he rank in the league in terms of interceptions or sacks? All those things. Offensively, the quarterback. There's plenty of good quarterbacks that don't go to Pro Bowls.
And as you said, you got to break because Gabe Neitzel's here and he wants to raise some money for the MAC Fund, and that trumps you. As great as you are, Jason Wilde, your food chain 1 MAC Fund 2 Jason Wilde. Can you take that?
Yeah, yeah, I can. Not only can I take that, you have 2 more breaks to get to, and it's 5:46. So goodbye.
Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We got some backups heading northbound through the Marquette. There's an accident right underneath Wisconsin Avenue causing some issues. It's going to be slow past that point all the way up to Keefe, though. The southbound side has some backups as well, coming in from Burleigh down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge heading down towards Lincoln. Westbound on 94, backups from about 13th Street all the way through to about Mitchell Boulevard. You're back on the brakes west of Sunny Slope Road past Moreland, past Calhoun, actually. On the eastbound side, slowing down from about Highway F through the Barker Road area. Back on the brakes from 84th Street to Hawley Road. Escape to the Knickerbocker on the lake. Enjoy stunning lake views, luxurious rooms, and exceptional dining. Experience timeless charm and modern luxury in the heart of Milwaukee. Book your stay at knickerbockeronthelake.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, clearing skies, cool with a low of 32 at the lake, 26 inland. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 48 at the lake, 55 inland. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Drum roll, please.
Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why Bliss is more with Carbliss.
April Brewers action rounds out with the matchup against the Tigers and Athletics. Catch the series opener April 14th as the first 10,000 fans get a Brewers t-shirt designed by Unfinished Legacy. Then get Brewers collectibles at back-to-back games against the Athletics. First up, Peanuts Night on April 18th, featuring a Franklin Bobble with special tickets. And don't miss a Brewers football jersey for the first 25,000 fans April 19th. Get set for an action-packed April at Brewers.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some great news from my friends at Bank 5-9. For a limited time, you can earn as much as 4.8% on one of their CD specials. With 9, 17, and 25-month options, you're sure to find a CD that fits your needs while you earn a great return. It's simply another way Bank 5-9 is making lives better in our communities. Hurry, these high rates won't last long. Check out bank59.com/CD for more details. Member FDIC.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list. But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again. What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree. What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, the Mac Fun and Gabe Knight, so we got time. Your state, your teams, your ESPN, the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Used to be Wisconsin On Demand. A customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app available on Apple and Android app stores. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. Gabe Neitzel, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in 4/30/2025.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. For a limited time, enjoy exclusive seasonal rates starting at $139. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Landworks handles projects of all sizes. From a cozy pocket patio lush with greenery to a grand outdoor hosting space and everything in between. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all of your landscaping needs. The Landworks team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. It's NBA playoffs time. This week, Marcus and Chris give a playoff preview on the pod. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill. And it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitbossgrills.com.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Higher Love. Remember, Higher Love, the only UP cultivator offering organic, clean, green certified products, means you can count on to provide only the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Higher Love, 9 retail locations. Less than an hour from Green Bay, less than 2.5 hours from Milwaukee, 2 hours and 18 minutes. Yes, time, distance, Higher Love, Higher Love, Higher Love. Remember it. All right, the Mac Fund and Gabe Neitzel.
We're back once again.
So you're playing 100 holes?
100 holes, doing it a week later this year. I'm guessing the draft had something to do with that. So May 1st, we're going to be out at the Bog. But myself, Greg Matzik, Stephen Watson, who you're going to hear in moments on the tees. We celebrate Rory McIlroy and his win at the Masters.
Yeah, I can't wait to what the two of you have to say about that.
Who knows how long we're going to go. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm apologizing in advance how long that show might end up going. But no, we're back again. If you want to donate, text GOLF, GOLF, to 800-990-3776. That gets you to a link to the page. Our friends at Palermo's helping us out again this year. A donation of $25 or more gets you into a raffle for pizza for a year.
Yeah,
that includes
I'm in
a
the
pizza
raffle.
oven. So we have that. Also, if you're interested, maybe you want your donation to go to something where maybe you can get something, go out to X Golf in Brookfield. $20 donation out there gets you into a raffle for a TaylorMade driver.
How many tickets can I get?
How many ever you want.
Really?
Yeah.
I get a ticket for each $20?
Yeah, for every $20, yeah.
And Palermo's, I get a ticket for each $5?
So one donation.
One donation gets me in the round.
Gets you in.
Well, and the three of you are doing it together.
Yep.
So what's your goal, the three of you?
I believe our goal, we set it at $25,000 for the three of us. I think we should be able to do that.
Come on.
30,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Our goal is $30,000.
30,000. Yes, 30,000. I will contribute only if you agree not to tell anyone what I did.
I will agree not to tell anyone what you did.
Done. And the same amount for all three of you, and I'm glad you got together because it was easy for me to pick you as my favorite, but it didn't look good. Now, I'll put
appreciate it.
3 times the amount so that you each are contributed. No, it won't be 3 times that amount. 3 times half that amount.
Okay.
But it'll be more than before.
Well, I appreciate that, Homer. And again, if anybody wants to donate,